Federalist No. 10. The same subject continued. The Union as a safeguard against domestic faction and insurrection. November 22, 1787. By James Madison. From the Federalist Papers. Among the numerous advantages promised by a well-constructed Union, none deserves to be more accurately developed than its tendency to break and control the violence of faction. The friend of popular governments never finds himself so much alarmed for their character and fate as when he contemplates their propensity to this dangerous vice. The instability, injustice, and confusion introduced into public councils have, in truth, been the mortal diseases under which popular governments have everywhere perished. Complaints are everywhere heard from our most considerate and virtuous citizens that our governments are too unstable, that the public good is disregarded in the conflicts of rival parties, and that measures are too often decided not according to the rules of justice and the rights of the minor party, but by the superior force of an interested and overbearing majority. By a faction, I understand a number of citizens, whether amounting to a majority or minority of the whole, who are united and actuated by some common impulse of passion or interest adverse to the rights of other citizens or to the permanent and aggregate interests of the community. There are two methods of curing the mischiefs of faction: removing its causes, controlling its effects. There are again two methods of removing the causes of faction: destroying liberty, which is essential to its existence, giving every citizen the same opinions, passions, and interests. The first remedy is worse than the disease. Liberty is to faction what air is to fire, an aliment without which it instantly expires. But it could not be less folly to abolish liberty, which is essential to political life, because it nourishes faction, than it would be to wish the annihilation of air, which is essential to animal life, because it imparts to fire its destructive agency. The second expedient is as impracticable as the first would be unwise. As long as the reason of man continues fallible and he is at liberty to exercise it, different opinions will be formed. The diversity in the faculties of men, from which the rights of property originate, is not less an insuperable obstacle to a uniformity of interests. The protection of these faculties is the first object of government. From the protection of different and unequal faculties of acquiring property, the possession of different degrees and kinds of property immediately results. Those who hold and those who are without property have ever formed distinct interests in society. Different opinions concerning religion, government, and many other points, as well as the attachment to different leaders ambitiously contending for preeminence and power, divide mankind into parties and inflame them with mutual animosity. The latent causes of faction are thus sown in the nature of man. The inference to which we are brought is that the causes of faction cannot be removed, and relief is only to be sought in the means of controlling its effects. If a faction consists of less than a majority, relief is supplied by the Republican principle, which enables the majority to defeat its sinister views by regular vote. But when a majority is included in a faction, the form of popular government enables it to sacrifice to its ruling passion or interest both the public good and the rights of other citizens. To secure the public good and private rights against the danger of such a faction, and at the same time preserve the spirit and form of popular government, is the great object to which our inquiries are directed. The answer is found in the principle of representation and the extension of the sphere of the republic. A large republic, with many interests and parties, makes it less probable that a majority will share the same unjust motive, and if such a motive exists, it will be more difficult for those who feel it to discover their own strength and to act in unison with each other. Extend the sphere, and you take in a greater variety of parties and interests. This makes it less likely that a majority of the whole will have a common motive to invade the rights of other citizens. Thus, the proposed Constitution provides a structure capable of controlling the violence of faction while preserving liberty and republican government. Publius,